Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Sarah. I'm a NICU, newborn, and lactation consultant nurse and mom to 4. Today we are going to talk about something that falls into a category it necessarily shouldn't always fall into, and that is vitamin K and opinions and research out there on why not we should give this to our newborn babies. So let's dive into it. And if you like my content, please don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe to my channel. Here we go. So this is one of those topics that I really highly suggest parents to dive into before they get to the hospital to have their new baby, because that time is just really overwhelming in itself, and to be bombarded with even more questions about shots and medications and vitamins and all of that just adds to the overwhelm. So knowing what you're going into before you go into it can really set you up for success in making a decision. And thankfully, I think most parents just genuinely want to know why we do what we do. And they absolutely have the right to know why we're doing what we are doing as healthcare providers, and then making the best choice for themselves and for their baby. So today we are going to explain what vitamin K even is, why newborns need it, what could happen if you don't have it, why healthcare providers really recommend this pretty strongly. I'm going to explain this in the most non-opinionated, practical way I possibly can. So let's dive into what is vitamin K. So vitamin K is a vitamin that we all have, and it helps clot our blood properly. So think of vitamin K as defense, a red foghorn, a alarm to tell those clotting factors, hey, there's bleeding going on, vitamin K, let's go, let's go, let's go. So those clotting factors are all gonna rush to that bleeding and hopefully stop it. Now, you don't hear adults getting vitamin K, and this is why. So we eat foods that contain vitamin K. We have a mature gut. So it is just naturally has bacteria in it that has vitamin K in it, as opposed to a baby that does not have a mature gut yet. So they're lacking in vitamin K in their gut, as opposed to an adult who isn't, because we've just eaten food over time that contains it, and our clotting factors have already picked up, and we have a mature vitamin K making system most likely. And adults, older children have body stores of vitamin K, just like with any other vitamin. Sometimes you will filter them out through your kidneys, but lots of times your body will store them up for when you need them. Newborn babies are just a little bit different. Naturally, babies are born with very low stores of vitamin K. They're not adults yet. They haven't lived a long life. They just don't have vitamin K built up. And this confuses a lot of people, because they say, well, if I have stores built up of vitamin K, how does my baby not have stores of vitamin K built up automatically? It's because they're new. Everything in their systems has to activate and start to build up over time. Their muscles, their memory, their vitamin K stores, their liver function, it all has to wake up and start working. And that just doesn't happen on minute 1 of life. Their gut is also very immature. I go into that in a lot of other videos, just how their gut isn't quite sealed yet, which is why that breast milk formula conversation is really important to have at this time. But the same thing goes for vitamin K. They just don't have places to store vitamin K in their intestines, and they don't have vitamin K in their intestines to send out to their body. During those first few weeks of baby's life, just in this vulnerable transition period in many different ways, their body went from mom doing everything for them to a transition to the outside world, which is just hard. Their systems need a little more time to wake up, and that's completely normal and expected. One of these systems needing a little more time to wake up is their clotting maturing system. Period that it is maturing and waking up, we want to be sure that we're covering our bases for the things that they just need a little extra time to produce in their bodies. Their livers are immature, which is why they get jaundiced a lot of times, and need some time to wake up. Clotting factors are lower and need some time to build up. And their gut bacteria just hasn't had time to develop yet, because they haven't been alive long enough to develop it. Until all of those things mature, they are at a more vulnerable state for bleeding. So this is where that vitamin K shot comes in. Shortly after you give birth, babies are going to be offered a vitamin K shot. You can check with your hospital, and lots of them are now offering preservative-free options as well. The shot can be given in your baby's thigh, and if you are wanting to extend your golden hour period, it can also be given while baby is on your chest. This vitamin K shot is given to babies so they have a little extra vitamin K while their body is naturally waking up and starting those clotting factors. I do want parents to understand one thing. The concern isn't that they're visibly bleeding. So you're thinking a heel stick, a shot. That bleeding isn't necessarily what we're concerned about. What we're concerned about is the bleeding that we necessarily can't see. This a lot of times happens in the brain, the intestines, their stomach, a circumcision internally somewhere else in their body. This can also happen for multiple reasons because of trauma during birth. Again, just lower clotting factors, and something simple just triggers their bleeding and we can't see it. The hardest parts about this is it happens fast. Babies just don't have a lot of reserve when they're new. And so once they are bleeding internally, we have very, very limited time to stop that bleeding. A lot of healthcare providers feel really strongly about preventing bleeding in babies by giving them this vitamin K shot. Another question I get a lot is, well, why can't I just do the oral drops of vitamin K? They offer oral drops of vitamin K as opposed to giving the shot, and you absolutely can. There are some differences that I just want people to be aware of, though. If you choose to give the drops instead of the shot, require a little more oversight. So if you want a one and done, the shot is definitely the way to go. A lot of other countries actually do give the oral drops, but again, they just do birth a little bit differently, and so the oversight is there to monitor babies bleeding. The oral doses do require multiple doses over time, so you will have to monitor that when you give them, how you give them. Remember to do it exactly as it's scheduled. And the shot is just the more reliable option. It does absorb very well. It just provides longer lasting protection because it's just absorbed really well right at the beginning, as opposed to those oral drops just have a little more systems to go through before they get into where they need to be to start going out into the body as vitamin K. A big red flag. Vitamin K is not a vaccine. This is not in the vaccine plan for any major organization. This is a completely separate thing. It is a vitamin only. Just like I do, some people hear shot and immediately think vaccination, and that is not what vitamin K is. It has been used a very long time to help bleeding in newborns. You go back into the Bible, I always wondered about that 8-day circumcision with young babies, if that was the reason, because they were seeing a lot of bleeding in that time. And so they noticed if they waited a few extra days, was the bleeding less? I don't know, but good thing to wonder. And I care deeply about this, and a lot of healthcare providers do too, because if baby does start to bleed internally, there is very, very limited time to act fast to stop it. And a lot of times it's just really hard to see, even as a healthcare provider, the signs of internal bleeding for a baby are just very, very subtle until it's a big deal. Also want to give this disclaimer that I truly understand why you're asking these questions about vitamin K. They're all justified. Absolutely should ask questions before your baby gets any medication, injection, vitamin. And you should always want to understand why they're receiving it and what they're receiving. Informed parents do not turn me off at all. They make me excited because I know this baby is being cared for, because they have parents that want to make the best decision for themselves and their babies. I know you are trying to protect your baby, and that is a wonderful thing. So my encouragement will always be, always have trusted healthcare providers as your providers. If you don't trust your provider or feel comfortable asking them these kinds of questions, please seek out another one. For your pediatrician, for your OB, for your midwife, whatever it is, there are really great pediatricians, doctors out there that are willing to have these conversations with you. Remember, to look at dates of evidence-based information. Some is newer, and that's great, and others are older, and comparing those things can be really good. Also, remembering social media is a great tool for some things, but other things, there is a lot of false information out there. So again, just diving into trusting your healthcare provider is really, really vital in these situations. And when you're a new mom and you're postpartum and you're sleep deprived, it is so easy to get overwhelmed with these decisions. So I really advocate for making these choices before you even go to give birth. So to summarize that all up, because I know that was a lot of information, when babies are born, they just naturally have lower levels of vitamin K. Normal, not surprising. Clotting system takes a minute to wake up after birth. Again, normal, not surprising. We need vitamin K to help us clot properly, and adults have enough to usually do that. Babies, new babies, do not. This shot really helps protect them from internal bleeding. It just acts as a protection while their vitamin K stores start to wake up and produce enough to clot later on down the road if they need their clotting factors for some sort of bleed. All right, guys, I hope this video helped explain things a little more for you and maybe helped you make that decision on giving vitamin K oral drops or not giving vitamin K at all. Again, please subscribe to my channel. If you're postpartum or a brand new mom, I just want to tell you, by researching these things right now, you are already telling me you're doing such a great job by caring for your baby. See you guys in the next video.